get started. I just hope everybody had a safe, happy Thanksgiving yesterday, and that you didn't overeat. But if you did, we're going to work out. For those of you that were cooking a lot and standing a lot yesterday, we're going to do a slow progression to warm up. But first I want to just talk about the Black Friday sale that Physical Mind Institute is having. All of their products are marked down considerably, and definitely a time to take advantage of it. If you're a Pilates instructor, there's courses and manuals, and pretty much everything is marked down. But for those of you that will hopefully be doing this class with me on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. and Fridays at 1 p.m., really, if these two products in particular that I'm going to recommend highly. One is the Parasetter. You've all heard me talk about it quite a bit. It is something that you lie on. It's got a little channel down the middle. There's also a wrap that goes around the rib cage, kind of warming it up. It feels fabulous. And there's a little pillow that fits on the foam surface. It's a very specialized material. Feels wonderful on the body. Wonderful on the body. I will say all of COVID, this has been the product that I have used the most. I have a full Pilates studio of my own, and I hate to admit, I really didn't go on my equipment as much as I probably should have, but I pretty much went on the Parasetter at least a minimum of once a day, and usually it was more like twice a day. So I will be doing classes on this product. It can be something that makes the exercises more challenging, doing your Pilates mat on it. It can also be a way of de-stressing, and the reason why it's called the Parasetter is it works on resetting the parasympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight. Also, where we end up getting all that abdominal fat, right? When our cortisol levels are elevated and we're in a constant state of stress. And I will say COVID has pretty much put everybody in a constant state of stress since February, really. And so I definitely recommend getting a Parasetter. The other thing that I would also recommend, there's really only two products. I mean, I love them all, but if I'm going to just have my druthers, and also the Type 4. This is a prototype, so the one that you'll be purchasing looks a little bit different, but it's a wearable resistance that you put on kind of like a backpack, closes in front like a front closure bra, and there's a bungee cord resistance that goes to the foot and goes to the hand. And this is something that can assist you when you're doing your Pilates mat. Wednesday's class and today's class, I'm not using any props because I want you to, if it's something that you want to start with and you don't want to purchase anything, I totally understand, but I would definitely jump on the sale. You all know me, you all know that I'm about the sale. One other thing, and this is something you can purchase on various sites, Pilates sites, companies that sell Pilates equipment. Bounce Body would be one of them. Power Systems is a fitness site that sells balls, but this is something you blow up, and I don't know if you can see, but it squishes. This is a great prop, not particularly expensive. This would be another thing that I would recommend getting. So we're going to get started. Just wanted to let you know about the two props in particular. Oh, and you can see back here behind me is a fit ball. These are the balls that you sit on. Some of you already have these at home. I would like to be doing a little cardio for those of you that have knee issues and back issues. The fit ball is actually a great way to work your abdominal muscles, but also get your heart rate up a little bit. So this would be another thing. If you have it already, awesome. If you don't worry about getting it yet because there's ways of getting around it. But it is a nice tool. You can use that at your desk. which would strengthen your back ultimately, but is a challenge if you have problems with your back, because you have to have a certain degree of strength and balance to be able to do that. So we're going to get started. I'm just going to move my little notes here. We're going to start with just a seated stretch. So I found, I did a lot of cooking yesterday, so my upper back is feeling super tight. So I'm going to start with a seated stretch, just sitting forward on, it can be on a dining room chair, something that's firm though, not a couch that you're sinking into. So I'm going to just be lifting my chest and looking up. I'm pushing my chest forward, and then I'm going to round my back. I'm going to grab a hold of my knees or maybe the back of my thighs. Again, lifting the chest, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more. Inhaling and exhaling. Separating the shoulder blades, rounding, and a little side flexion. Lifting one arm and just leaning to the side. And bring it up. Inhale on the way up with the arm. Exhale as you flex the trunk to the side. Again. And little trunk rotation. Inhale and spiral. And exhale to center. Inhale. Last one. Head tilts. Other side. Mouth open. Jaw relaxed. One more in each direction. Shoulders shrugging up and down. Drop. Last one. Going to do the same stretches with the legs extended in front of me. So sitting tall and going to let the knees bend a little bit, especially if you have tight hamstrings. So, and hands can be down for back support. Lifting and looking up, and then rounding forward. Lifting, arching the back, drawing the shoulder blades in the direction of the spine, and then separating the shoulder blades, blowing the air out, and rounding the back. And again, arching and rounding. We're going to take a lean. So leaning, lift the arm and lean to the side. And remember the breath. Inhale. Remember, you can bend those knees aggressively if it feels like too much for your back, or you could repeat it just sitting down, twisting in one direction and twisting in the other direction. Now, when I suggest a breath, that it's exactly that. It's a suggestion. If it feels more natural to do the opposite of what I say, do the opposite of what I say. And shake it out. Now, hopefully we opened up your upper back a little bit. Mine still feels tight, but I know it will get released as we go. I'm going to roll down to my back. And feet are under your, and direction underneath your hips. So I've got that alignment of my knee, hip, and ankle. And I'm going to start by lifting everything up in one piece, because my back is feeling tight from yesterday. So I'm going to activate the back of my legs. I'm going to push into my palms. I'm going to inhale to prepare. I'm going to exhale and pick everything up in one piece. Now, I'm going to take my hips, and I'm going to shift them very slightly from side to side, kind of like a typewriter, an old-fashioned typewriter. Find the middle. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, place everything down. We're going to take that again. Inhale and exhale. Float the hips up. Belly pulled in tight. Shifting from side to side. I'm going to do it incorrectly. This is just way too big, and you can see kind of everything went all over the place. So I'm trying to keep my hips squared. It's really a subtle movement. It's almost like you're shifting weight to one foot a little bit, and then to the other foot a little bit. And then place it all back down. We'll just take one more of the typewriter. Inhale, prep. And then exhale, bolt the belly, squeeze the gluteal muscles, lift it in one piece, and shifting, small little shift from side to side. Do you feel your gluteal muscles working? Right? Sometimes we have glute amnesia. And slowly place it down. Excellent. And we're going to start mobilizing our hips a little bit. So I'm going to take the knee that's closest to the camera, and I'm going to stir it in a circle. Trying to keep the belly tight. I'm going to stir it the other direction. Now, feel free to stay with that movement or extend the leg up to the ceiling. We're going to do that modified leg circle that I did on Wednesday, but we're also going to do a variation on it that makes it a little bit more challenging. Now, when I go to reverse the other side, I'm going to do the challenging version. I'm going to pick up the other leg in tabletop. Now, hopefully you remember which way you were going. If you didn't, don't worry, it's not the end of the world if you go the same direction. And around, and now this is a lot more challenging because I don't have that stability of that other foot down. I have to engage my core a lot more. One more in this directional. Excellent. And then place that foot down. And let's stretch the hamstring. Flexing the toes, pointing them. Just kind of waking up that ankle. And hold it in a flex. Length out through the crown, tailbone as well. And then let's bring that leg down. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I start with that stir, right? So I'm doing that knee stir. I'm pulling my abdominal muscles in, and I'm stirring that femur, bone of the upper leg. Let's go the other direction, and lubricating that joint with whatever synovial fluid I have left. And let's take two more. And last one. Extend the leg up, reaching for the ceiling. We're going to do that modified leg circle that we did on Wednesday. And coming down and bring it around. And let's just take two more in this direction. And then we're going to do the version that was a little bit more of a challenge. So I'm going to float the leg up, tabletop position, and then I go the opposite direction. Now, this feels really challenging to me. So if it feels too much, remember you can always bring that foot down. And I'm going to take three more because I really don't want to do three more. And two. Last one. Now that leg is going to go up, and I'm going to do that hamstring stretch. And remember, you can grab higher on the leg, and if your hamstrings are tight, the leg may be here. It doesn't matter where the leg is. If you feel the stretch, then you're doing it. I'm going to flex and point that foot. And then I'm going to hold it in a flex, and I'm going to give it a little bit more of a stretch. And feeling that pull through the back of the leg. And then let's bring that foot down. Now, I'm going to take my alternate knee fold. I like to call this a Pilates temper tantrum. So I think about my kids when they were little, and if they were having a hissy fit, of course, in public, they'd throw themselves on the ground and start doing this with their legs. I don't think they pointed their feet, however. Okay, so just stomping from one to the other, one to the other. Now, I can stay with my head down, or I can pick my head up, or I can go into my single leg stretch. So drawing the leg in, extending the opposite one. Remember, the higher the leg goes, it's a little bit easier to control up here, a little bit more difficult when you bring it a little bit lower in front of you. And keep it going. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Draw the knees in. Let's take one leg up. Remember how we were doing that hamstring stretch. Flex the foot. Take the opposite leg and point it out in front of you. Use the hands on the back of the leg and switch. And switch. And switch. Now, if this feels like too much, bring your head down and focus on the straightening of the leg, right? Still drawing it in. You're still going to feel your abdominal muscles. You're going to feel it a lot more aggressive if you're here, but I'm going to let you choose. And two more. And last one. Knees come into the chest. Let's stir them both together in one direction, and then stir them the other direction. Now, we're going to bring ourselves to a seated posture. So I always tell people to roll to their side. They don't always listen to me, and use your hands to come up. Because if you just rock up, sometimes it can put your back into a spasm, and that's not the objective here. Legs are going to extend in front of us. Again, remember, you can have a bend through the knee. And we're going to revisit that spine stretch where we round the back forward. And then bring it to sitting tall and arch. One more. Round. And arch. Now, when you did your hamstring stretch, when you were grabbing the leg into you, I'm going to do a similar stretch seated. So I'm going to bend the knee that's closest to you, right? And that knee's down. The other leg is going to be the one that's getting the hamstring stretch. My hip is stretching here. So I'm going to round my back forward to that leg. Breathing into the posterior spine, back ribs, blowing into that knee. One more. From here, I'm going to lift my head a bit, pull my shoulders down, straighten my back, and come all the way to sitting tall. Twisting to that knee that was bent, pulling it into my chest. I'm going to do that stretch one more time. And I start with that spinal stretch, rounding the back forward, relaxing shoulders and neck. Now lengthen out through the crown. Use your hand either down on your shin or down on your mat. Lengthen out through the crown. Shoulders depressed down. We come to sitting tall. Let's grab that knee into our chest and twist. And we're going to switch to the other side. So I'm going to straighten the leg that was bent, and I'm going to bend the opposite one. Find your sitting bones. Boy, this hip feels tight. Open hip. Okay, going to round that back forward again. Now, listen to your body. If you feel the stretch here, this is where you take it. If you can flex the trunk a little further, great. But sometimes this does not feel good. So listen to your body. I'm going to lengthen out through my crown. Good, to press my shoulders down, and coming all the way up to sitting tall. Hug that knee in and twist the body around. And I'm going to repeat that one more time. First, I round my back forward, opening that back, letting it just be stretched, and then lengthening out as if someone's pulling on the top of your head, and all the way up to a nice seated posture. Let's take that twist again. to center. Soles of the feet together. Now, if your hips are tight, a lot of times they'll be here. So what I want you to try is to get those knees down. Don't have the heels close to your pelvis. That makes it even more aggressive. Give me some distance, at least 10 to 12 inches from the heel to the pubic bone. Now, hands behind you kind of help a little bit. So I'm just kind of pulling down from within, and then I'm releasing. Exhaling here, and inhaling. And one more, and pushing down. Now, keeping it as down as you can, but we're going to walk the hands out in front of us. And then from here, notice I'm walking my bottom back a little bit. It makes it a little bit easier and a little bit more accessible. So, I'm going to round my back forward. Same round back that I was doing against that straight leg. All of this is about stretching out hip and back. From here, I'm going to push down into my feet. I'm going to lift my head up. I'm going to depress my shoulders down. And again, I'm thinking length through the crown all the way to the top. Inhale at the top. Exhale, dropping your chin to your sternum. Rounding the upper back. And again, stretching into the feet. Allowing the back to stretch there. Inhale through the nose again. And then exhale. Again, lifting the head first. Trying not to do that. That's crunching my neck. So putting the head on top of the spine. All the way to the top. Beautiful. And stretch the legs out in front of you. We're going to be warming up the back. We're going to be doing a partial roll back. So I'm going to grab behind my legs. My legs aren't crunched in tight because my balance is not a good balance. I've got some nice distance between my heel and my bottom. I'm going to tuck my tailbone under and roll back. I'm going to grab the back of my leg and I'm going to pull myself right back up again. When I get to the top, I'm going to arch my back looking to the ceiling in front of me. Now, I'm also concentrating on those shoulder blades and they're just opening toward my spine. Again, grab the back of the thigh and rolling back. Once you get down there, inhale and exhale. Grab the back of the thigh. Now I'm pulling myself from here. You can hear it in my voice. I'm also exhaling all the way to the top and arching the back at the top. Now, this could be done fast, but my back is feeling tight today, so there's no way I'm going to do it fast. Sorry. If you want to go faster, go for it. Add the arms reaching back. Circle them like angel wings in the snow. Grab the back thigh and bring it up. Now, if we have that Type 4, that wearable resistance I was telling you about, it makes this exercise a complete different animal. If you're finding that you're not successful, I would jump on the computer and I would order one immediately. The sale goes, I think, through the entire weekend. You know how they do the Black Friday sales. Arching the back and rolling back one last time, and I'm going to stay back there. And I'm going to roll onto my side. We're going to do some of the side leg series that we did not do on Wednesday. So my hand can be bent like this, right? So I've got a neck support. It can be extended. Kind of do what feels least uncomfortable for you. I haven't decided. I think this is okay today. Now, both of my legs are going to be stacked, one on top of the other. So if you get into this position and you fall over, then the bottom leg, it'll make it a little bit more stable. I want to make it a little bit more difficult by making both legs straight. I'm going to start with my top leg. I'm going to lift it, but if you notice, I didn't lift it very much because I got to lift the bottom one up to it and then I place it down. So I have upper, lower lift, and down. Upper, lower, lift, and down. Top leg, bottom leg, lift them together and down. Top leg, bottom leg, lift them together and down. Now the body wants to go back. Don't let it go back. I'm going to scooch this way a little bit more. Okay, and again, top, bottom, together, down, top, bottom, together. I'm going to add on. Now, hold it up there. Just the top leg, up and down. Bottom leg is still floating. I'm working this hip quite a bit. And 5 more here, and 4. Last 3, and 2, and 1. Bottom one goes down, up, down, up, down, up. Still working this one, although at least I think they're both working, but right now all I'm feeling is my top one. And 4 more, and 3 more, last 2, and 1. Let it release. So, depending on where you're weak is where you're going to feel it. Now, side leg swing. The bottom leg is going to bend for stability. Hand can come here in front, and I will be adding an arm in a second. Side leg swing is a freedom through the hip. So I'm going to bring it straight in front of me, flexing the foot, and then I'm going to try to keep it at one height, and I'm going to point it, ooh, that was a nice pop, to the back. In my back, I felt a nice little pop. Reach. Now, to add a little more rotation, I'm going to reach the arm front and the leg back. When the leg comes forward, I'm going to reach the arm back. And oppositional movement here. And swing. And swing. Good. Going to take 4 more here. Arm in opposition. Now, if the arm messes you up and you want to put the hand down, feel free to do what works best for your body. Focus on keeping the hips squared and not letting everything roll all over the place. We're going to roll onto our abdomen. Okay. Now, if you have issues with your back, sometimes lying on your stomach can be uncomfortable. Feel free to take a towel, roll it up, place it at the pelvis, kind of find the spot where you get a nice cushion and support. We're going to be taking a slow motion swim. Okay, and if you've ever seen me in the water, I'm like a rock sinking. Okay, arms are going to reach out in front of you, legs reaching behind you. I'm going to float my face, right? I'm just floating my face, a little bit of my chest, but mainly my head. Opposite arm and leg lift, and then I place them down. Lift and place, and lift, place, lift, place. Up, down, up, down. Going to take 8 more here. Now, abdomen drawn in tight, shoulders down, neck long, up and down. 4 more, lift and lower. 3 more, 2 more, last one. Okay, and we're going to go to the other side. Between sides, let's come up to our forearm, lift your belly up, rock your body back, and just give your back a little bit of a stretch. I'm going to switch to the other side. So, I'm going to swing my legs around. Remember, we started with the legs, one on top of the other. So, lying on your side, and I want to make sure both cameras have as much body as I can get. Might cut off a little bit of my toes or a little bit of my head. Okay, remember the arm can be extended or it can be bent. Hand can be down for stability. Now, we start with the upper leg, lifting. Remember, we didn't lift it a lot. We lift the bottom leg up to it, and then we bring them down together. So I have top, bottom, together, lift a little bit and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when do I breathe? Really doesn't matter. Just don't hold your breath. And down, and up, up, down. Now, you might notice Pilates teachers tend to talk the whole time. Part of it is, if we're talking, we're breathing. Up, lift, down. This last one, we're going to keep it lifted. We're going to lower and lift the top leg. Now, you should be feeling that top hip working. Remember, the bottom leg stays up. We'll take 4 more here. 3, 2, and 1. Now the bottom leg, keep down, up, down, up, down, up. Good. And let's take 6 more here. And 5. If you want to make it more difficult, you bring the hand to your side so you don't have it there for your balance. A little bit more of a challenge. 1 more. Okay. Bottom leg is going to bend for stability. Now, we're going to start with that side leg swing. The foot comes to the front and it's flexed. We bring it to the back and it's pointed. And flex. And point. Now, the hand can stay down as a counter stability or reach in opposition. The nice thing about the reach is I'm getting a stretch through my rotator cuff and it feels a little bit more expansive. And reach. And reach. Beautiful. And reach. That's it. We'll take 4 more here. And 3. Last 2. And last but not least. Excellent. We're going to roll to our stomachs again. So, arms reaching out. That slow motion swinging. 1, the other. 1, the other. Arm is straight, leg is straight. Arm is straight, leg is straight. And 3 more. And 2 more. Last one. Okay. Again, push yourself up. We're going to take a child rest with a twist. So I'm going to take my arm that's closest to you and I'm going to twist up. I'm going to slip it under the other side and I sit back. Let the back stretch there. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Other side. Now, some of you may not be able to sit back in that position. You can put a bed pillow right between your bum and your calf. Other arm reaches up. Reach through under the other arm and sit back. So I might have a pillow back there. The further back you go, the more mobility you have through your knee. Not everybody has this much mobility through their knee. This should feel good. If it doesn't, we'll find a way to make it feel better. In through the nose. And we're going to come